Welcome back to Between the Lines with Kalen. Grab your favorite bevy and blanket and let's get comfy as we dive into chapters 15 and 16 from Book 1, Beginnings of the Emerson Grove series. Before we get to the new stuff, let's do a quick recap of where we left things last Sunday in chapter 13 and 14. Last week, Jared finally got a major reality check. He spent the night in a detention cell after the police caught him staking the perimeter of DJ's apartment. He tried to use his usual arrogance to bully the officers, but they had him dead to rights on security footage, and they hit him with formal charges and a strict protection order to keep him away from DJ. But the real shocker came after his release. Jared assumed his family name would protect him, but his father completely turned on him. Right there in the car, his dad told him to shut the fuck up, fired him from the family business, canceled his corporate credit cards, and cut him off financially. Jared was left with nothing but his grandparents' trust fund and the realization that his safety net was gone. Following a restful but sexless night with Butch and DJ, she vows to regain her confidence and step back into life full force. The morning is interrupted with Nala, who knocks on the door with coffees. She stops to share some of the details of her 10-plus encounter with two of the men from a new business group that's relocating to town. They had run into them at the yoga class that they attended. Well, actually, it wasn't a yoga class. It was an exercise class that ended with yoga. The chapter closed with a surprise group text from Barb inviting the girl gang to her salon for a fun evening. So let's jump right into chapter 15 and see what Barb had planned for the ladies tonight. So we start with DJ. I'm the last to arrive at Genesis. After I enter, we lock the door and pull the curtains over the windows. This is a private event. Barb has arranged the sofas in the waiting room for easier conversation. Most of the girls have a glass of wine already, and Barb walks out with a tray of various shooters. I eye her suspiciously, 'cause we don't usually do shooters for mani-pedi night. That's more of a casual cocktails or wine kind of night. I look to the rear of the salon, and none of the petty chairs seem to be set up for tonight. Now I'm in full alert. But you know what? I'm going to play this out. This is Barb's party, and I am now very anxious to see exactly what a buff and polish from her group text meant. Everyone has their shooter ready to go. Barb raises her glass to toast. To smooth beginnings and even smoother endings. Salute. So we all finish our shooters and pass the tray around again so everyone can grab another one. After the second round of shooters, I can't stand the suspense anymore. I have to ask. So, ladies, what is a buff and polish? Everyone looks as confused as I am, except for Nala, and she starts laughing so hard she has tears running down her cheeks. As the tray of shooters is passed around again for the third time, we're all relaxing into the suspense. Then, Barb's esthetician Olga steps out from the back room. Let me describe Olga. Olga is a rather large Russian woman who typically does the majority of the waxing at the salon. All right, do you see where this is heading now? So Olga is actually an Olga oxymoron to refer to her as the waxing expert, considering she has a dark upper lip mustache that would make some men I know jealous. Oh, hell no, I hear from Roxy. I am not getting waxed down there. Absolutely not. I see a smile cross Olga's face. That woman loves to inflict pain on others. Olga asks who will volunteer to be the first. Barb looks around the room and tells her we may need another round of shooters and 15 minutes to chill. In her thick Russian accent, Olga tells us, "I go get lots of wax ready. It seems none of you have been deforested before, except for Nala, which makes lots of work for me to do tonight. Maybe I have enough hair at the end to make a wig to sell in the salon. You know, like a coat for your beaver. Might become fashion trend in colder countries." All right, that woman is just a sadist. Does she actually think she's funny, Barb? I ask. Barb is doubled over. She's laughing so hard. "Oh, DJ, I am also a virgin to the Brazilian. I not only have a carpet down under, it's a fucking shag carpet." I shake my head and reach for another shooter. This is going to be painful. Rosie, who has been quiet up until now, but I guess the shooters are finally starting to kick in. Excuse me, but what if I prefer my hoo-ha to keep its original coat instead of having someone else have a coat made out of my hoo-ha covering? I think I'm going to piss my pants. The shooters have kicked in, and this topic is pretty hilarious. Roxy is laughing so hard that she crosses her legs to avoid having an accident. Barb passes the tray of shooters around again. Good thing none of us are driving home tonight. The salon's walking distance for everyone. Millie, who is our quiet one generally, stands up and says, "I want to go on the record saying that my panty hamster is quite happy being fully clothed, or in this case, furred." She's crying. She's laughing so hard. Actually, we all are. I don't remember the last time we had this much fun. Well, it's only fun until the Russian lady calls your name, and DJ happens to be the first name she calls. Fuck. I walk down the hallway to the waxing room like I'm walking fucking death row. Literally, it is death row. Death row for my short curlies. All right, now we head into chapter 16. And my friends, chapter 16 now takes us from the absolute terror of the waxing room straight back to the toxic, passive-aggressive wonderland of the Anderson Agency. Remember last week when Jared got thrown in the slammer and his mom, Celia, was completely MIA? Well, she finally rolls into the office, and let's just say Jonathan is not throwing her a welcome back party. So it's a conversation between Jonathan and Mummy Dearest. "Well, look who the cat dragged in. Do you suddenly work flex hours? Do we suddenly have a flex marriage? We are in the middle of a business, family, and financial crisis, and your reaction is that you disappear." Jonathan Anderson looks at his wife with disgust. "Celia, I need you to decide this minute whether you are in or out. I will not tolerate any further disrespect in our marriage or failure to commit to the success of this business. However, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that your biggest failure has been in raising your son to be a responsible and upstanding citizen. Did you know he was arrested last night?" Celia is standing looking at her husband with indifference. She knows she's been caught. She didn't mean to fall asleep last night and not return home. She's usually cautious with her dalliances. She had a little too much to drink last night, trying to drown the reality that is now her life. She is stuck in a loveless marriage and a business that has lost her interest. If she leaves without any money, thanks to some irrevocably tight legal work that was signed before she tied the knot. She has, unfortunately, married into a family with not only immense generational wealth, but also the fortitude to legally protect what is deemed as theirs. Celia looks at Jonathan. Why was Jared arrested last night? Did he jaywalk? Oh, never mind. I'll just head to his office and ask him myself. Celia gets up and leaves to go to Jared's office to find out what the drama is all about this morning. Returning a few moments later, do you mind explaining to me why Jared's office is still dark and it looks like it has been cleaned out? 'Cause I fired him, Jonathan continues. And you, my unfaithful wife, will be next if you don't straighten up. You can catch up with your son after work and get the story from him. Quite frankly, I don't have the time or the interest to catch you up if you can't be bothered to show up when your family needs you. Furthermore, failure to spend the night in our home will no longer be tolerated. If you want out of this marriage, then leave. But you will not continue to embarrass me or my family name any longer. You're either in or you're out, but there's no dance in this line anymore. Now kindly return to your office, get your head back in our business, and earn the salary that you are paid, or you will be following your son out the door in very short order. Are we clear? The magnitude of the situation hit Celia full force. How could she have let everything get so out of control? This is not who she is or who she wants to be. She looks at her husband and she's wondering, where did their happy life take a wrong turn? At that moment, she vows to get her shit together, get her son back on the right track, and get the love back in her marriage, if any of that is even possible at this point. Jonathan, do you want me to arrange a meeting with DJ? Her husband looks at her with disbelief in his eyes. No. I will connect with DJ. I don't believe that your past relationship with her will bode well for a positive interaction. I will take this one on personally, so I can apologize for my son's actions and try to entice her back under our business umbrella. I have a few ideas, but I'm not sure that any of them even stand a chance at this point. When you hear the story from Jared, you may understand a little more. For now, I need you to ensure that the contacts that we are currently holding are supported by our team and that they are locked in for the future. If we lose one more contract, you and I will be standing at the corner with tin cups asking for donations to keep the lights on. Jonathan knows that's a bit of an exaggeration, but he feels that the shock factor is needed in this situation. Celia stands up to leave the meeting and turns to Jonathan. Can we please have dinner together some night this week and figure out a way forward for us personally? Jonathan eyes her suspiciously and nods. If this is an honest attempt to discuss the precarious situation that you've put our marriage in, I'm open to that. If you are open and honest about your part in this failure and are truly looking for a way forward together, then I would be open to a conversation. Celia is on her way out of the office, and I'm already dialing DJ's number. DJ answers on the second ring and agrees to meet me for lunch to discuss the business situation. I'm going to view this as a positive step that she has even decided to talk to me after what my son has put her through. Now I just have to convince her to come back under the Anderson umbrella with her new contracts. I need a hook to entice her. As I gather my files and get ready to leave the office to meet DJ, it hits me. Think I have a hook to get her back. I confidently head over to Antonio's Pizzeria where I'm meeting her for lunch. Well, my between-the-line friends, it's that time again to pull our heads out of the book and head back into the reality of our own lives. Will DJ survive Olga's vat of boiling wax? Will the panty hamster live to fight another day? What is the mysterious hook? Will DJ take the bait, or will she throw a slice of Antonio's pizza right in Jonathan's face? And more importantly, did DJ survive her appointment with Olga, the Russian waxer? We will find out next Sunday. Thank you all for tuning in to Between the Lines with Kalen. I'm Kalen. I hope you have a wonderful week. Keep your shirts right side out. And definitely hide your panty hamster if your friend invites you over to a puffin polish. I will see you next week. Same time, same station. Have a good one.